Welcome back to the Chicago Tomahawk. I'm Mike, got Matt up top, and today we're going to be going over how the Canadiens swept the Jets. Vegas has taken a 3-2 series lead over Colorado. Tampa closes out the Canes. Islanders beat the Bruins. That was another 4-2 series. And Rod Brind'amour, he's a free agent coach. Adam Fox, Victor Hedman, and Cale Makar have been nominated for the Norris Trophy. And let's talk about the ESPN Turner deal and the differences between the NHL and the three other major sporting markets, and how possibly the NHL can start, maybe marketing the product better so that they can get more fans, so they can get better TV deals, which means the players can get paid better, considering the product that they put out onto the ice. But before we get into it, do us a favor. Hit subscribe, leave us a comment on social media or in the comments. It really helps out. And let's talk hockey. We love talking hockey. So to start us off, Canadiens sweep the Jets. What did you take from that series, Matt?
Didn't see that one coming,
no.
Honestly. Carey Price is hot, and anything can happen when your goalie's on. And I think that Scheifele hit probably was the downfall for the Jets, because he was a key player for them guys, and they just couldn't get it going. I think the Habs had the lead the whole series too.
Yeah. I think they lost it at one point.
Was it game 4?
I think it was at one point, but then
still majority.
Yeah, I did not see the Canadiens completely dominating the way that they did. It seemed like Blake Wheeler was a complete no-show
all season. I haven't heard his name once all season, except from us asking about him.
Right. Do you think that the Jets even making it was just somewhat of a Cinderella example of a Cinderella team?
I think they were lucky that, Calgary's not that good, and Ottawa's not that good. Vancouver had their 2-week pause because of their outbreak.
Yeah,
kind of lucked out. I mean, they still had a good record, but it was cool to see him sweep the Oilers. I mean, I didn't see that one coming either. But did you hear what Hellebuck said today?
Yeah, he says that they're on the verge of bringing a dynasty.
Yeah, don't you have to win one first though?
Yeah.
I mean, at least make it to the final. They're not close at all. I don't know.
No way.
I mean, he's just behind his team, and but I think they're way off. I think they need obviously Hellebuck's great to start with and build around, but they're not even close, man.
Yeah. It's a shame. It just seems like that Montreal is just built for success. It just seems like they're not spending a ton of money on star players other than their goalie, but It just seems like that they're built tough to play from the top all the way down. Moving on to Vegas and Colorado. Vegas is leading this series. I didn't see this happening, but I did expect it to be a close series. I was expecting Colorado to be up 3-2 right about now. But what do you take from this, man?
I still think it could go 7. I think I picked Vegas in 7 just because they've been here before, and Colorado they're close, but they haven't kind of experienced what this Vegas team has.
Right.
Not the Avs organization, just this new culture team. This new. Not like Sakic's Colorado. It's more like McKinnon's now. He's never, really been this far, and I think they're tanking. I mean, I don't get it. Grubauer hasn't been good. Cale Makar, actually, he's awesome, but he took a high risk play, and he got caught, and Mark Stone made him pay.
Yeah, big time.
And his sellies are awesome. I don't know if you've seen him. That guy gets amped up, man.
Yeah, he does.
It was awesome. But I don't know. It's going to be tough for him to come back. The Avs to come back at home or in Vegas. It's going to be tough. That building's tough to play in. So it could go 6, but you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if it goes 7 because I think not McKinnon's going to have a great game, and it's pretty much it's the biggest game of his career. Let's see if he could take it in.
Yeah, let's see if he's actually being paid appropriately and actually not taking a pay cut.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to Tampa closed out the Canes. I thought that this series was 4-1. I honestly thought that the Canes had more in them, and I think their penalty kill is what failed them. If they could have stopped Tampa on their, and not taking so many penalties on top of that, but if they could have stopped Tampa from scoring so many power play goals, this would have been a much closer series. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they beat themselves. They should have stayed out of the box and wouldn't have to worry about Kucherov firing one, Point firing one. Stamkos is you can't give those guys space, and when you
he was
got the
pretty
extra
much just hanging out there in the circle, just waiting for the puck.
Those guys are paid to do that, and they're doing it. They got the best goalie in the world. Tough to beat him. He's probably going to win the Vezina again. But Rod Brind'amour, he even said it too. He's like, that's what a great power play looks like, and we cannot take penalties against a great power play. But the Canes, man, they had a great season. I think they found a goalie. They're Russian. They're close. I think the main thing right now for them is they have to get Brind'amour locked up. This guy, players coach, guys seem like they love him. I think he loves it here or there. They got to get that done. You don't want that guy to walk and explore what his options. There's going to be a lot of teams looking for a coach like him. So hopefully the Canes office gets it going.
Yeah, no kidding. It was. I was expecting a little bit more out of Teravainen as well. I think that he's been playing better year after year, but I wonder if he's hit his peak in a way.
Yeah, like a top 6 guy. I don't see him a top liner. I think Sebastian Aho is a pretty underrated player. I enjoyed watching him this year. We've seen him a lot, and you know what? I thought hey man, they're paying this guy a lot of money, and he's not that special, but he really is though. That was a good. Actually, that was an offer sheet signing, right? I think Montreal gave him an offer sheet 2 years ago, and they matched it right away at $9 million a year. That guy, I think it's worth it. He's a great player.
Yeah, he is. I don't know about $9 million a year, but I think that he is definitely a very good player, incredibly talented.
Yeah.
But I think that he's a little overpaid at $9 million.
I'm sure, but they got the money.
Sure.
They're not up against a cap, and they want him to be the man there, and he's the man.
Yeah. So as you mentioned it, we'll just move on to Rod Brind'amour. As a coach, obviously as a player, that he was definitely somebody that he was obviously the captain of Carolina. He was a player that the team could get behind. It looking at him in the handshake line, he looks like the type of guy that people respect and people enjoy being around. What kind of do you think that he will have an opportunity to hit the free agent market out there and see what happens?
I don't know, man. If I was Waddell, I think it's Don Waddell, I'd be on the phone with his agent and him today. Hey, let's go. Let's get this going. What do we got to do? What do we need to do to get it done? You're the man here, but I hope for Canes fans and even the Canes players that he doesn't explore, because someone's going to pay the guy that and what he wants, and that he could probably turn the team around. He's a great coach. Yeah,
imagine what he can do in Chicago.
Oh, I'd love to have him here, and I think the players would too. I think they'd get real excited to get a guy like that with a little personality, and he was amped up after the game, that post game talk in his locker room, and players were all screaming at him, "Yeah, coach, yeah!"
Yeah,
that's awesome. It's good to see a little life in the guy.
Right.
We don't have that.
Yeah, no kidding. One thing that I wanted to bring up to you is the German Gretzky. What's his name? Leon Draisaitl. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that he got snubbed for the Selke Trophy because here's something to take into consideration. I think he was top 5 in points and top 5 in plus minus.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I know that he puts up points. Obviously, I don't even think he's considered for the Hart nomination either.
Completely under the radar, man.
Yeah, no
And,
respect. I
and
mean, we know McDavid's going to win that award. They shouldn't even release it. They should just write McDavid, McDavid, McDavid. But I mean, who would you say? I mean, I would probably say McDavid, Matthews, and being from Chicago, I thought Kane had a great year,
yeah,
and he probably won't be up there. It could be Nathan McKinnon, just because he's a beast, but it's going to McDavid.
yeah, and you know what? The argument for Kane is that the Blackhawks wouldn't have had zero chance this year if he wouldn't have played. Zero chance.
Oh yeah, we'd be terrible. We'd be Detroit.
Yeah,
We'd be probably
but
worse.
if Edmonton didn't have McDavid, they would probably be just as bad, really, because they would still have Leon Draisaitl. I wonder if Kane didn't play, if DeBrincat could keep up his production.
I don't think so. Not yet. I think DeBrincat is relying on Kane a lot. I mean, you could look at DeBrincat's goals. I guarantee you, 70% of them were assisted by Kaner.
Right. Yeah. Just something to think about. But I think that Leon Draisaitl got snubbed for the Selke this year.
Even the Hart, he was up there in points. I think he was number 2 in points.
Yeah.
Usually it's the 1, 2, 3 guys.
Right.
Unless it's something else like this guy had a great, plus it could be anything. It's all up to the I think it's the sports writers that pick, right?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Go figure, right?
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the Norris candidates: Adam Fox, Victor Hedman, Cale Makar. I'll tell you what, man. I think when I saw Victor Hedman play at the United Center, I was amazed at how good that guy could skate for how big that he is. I mean, he's just an incredibly smooth skater, and obviously a great defender and a threat on offense. I'm not really too familiar with Adam Fox, to be honest with you.
Rangers, yeah. He had a really great year this year. He put up a lot of points. I know the Rangers fans are going to be, pissed off when he doesn't win, but there's no way he's winning. It's got to go to Victor Hedman. He's just an all-around great defenseman.
Yeah,
and he could be on his way to winning a second cup.
Yeah,
he's just Cale Makar is great too. I guarantee you, everyone's fantasy hockey leagues, he's going to be like the first defenseman picked.
Yeah,
because he puts up great numbers. He's on a good team. I still got to go with Victor Hedman too. I think he's just solid in his own zone first, and he could put up the numbers.
Yeah, I agree. And also, we've got PK Subban. He's going to start his analyst gig with ESPN coming up, I believe, this Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And which is really interesting. The guy's got a great personality. I'm really excited to see. I think that he'll fit into the role really, really well. Have you heard anything about Sharpie? Is Sharpie going to be moving to ESPN or Turner or anything?
I haven't heard anything. The only thing I know is they got Gretzky on the panel. I think Olczyk. I think Jones, too, which I'm really tired of.
Keith Jones?
Yeah.
The guy's so boring, I mean, he's knowledgeable, dude, but I mean,
he's just loyal, I feel like he's been around for a while, and they're taking care of him, and it's cool. He doesn't bother me. Milbury bothered me. I couldn't stand him.
Yeah, me too.
I'm glad they cut ties with him. I feel like he'd always go out of the way just to give a dig at Roenick. And I'm like, Roenick, dude, you turn around and blast him, just one time. You're going to still be loved. You're going to gain more fans if you do it. Yeah. I honestly would like to see like a Brett Hall. I think he has a great personality. Do you remember when he was on?
Well, the problem is that he'd be drunk half the time, so they can't.
Yeah, like his dad.
Yeah, no kidding.
But, I mean, he's got a good personality. He used to be on, was it ABC when the NHL did that? I think him and Ray Ferraro were on. That was a huge deal when Ferraro called him out for being in the crease that Stanley Cup OT goal. He's like, yeah, you were in the crease. It shouldn't have counted. And Brett Hall goes, got a ring. It's like, I I got my ring and my name on the cup, so it did count.
Yeah.
So, this was on TV. It was pretty cool. I remember watching it younger. I'm like, what did he do wrong? He fouled through a shot and a skate went in the crease? Come on, get out of here. He didn't. That was such a stupid rule.
Yeah, I thought it was too.
That was so dumb.
Yeah, I'm glad that, things have changed for the better.
Now you can ram the goalie and you could score.
Yeah.
No, I mean, now they call it interference. I mean, even if you bump the goalie,
right.
It's like goaltender interference.
Right.
But, it's a lot better. I mean, if you're doing a flyby in the crease and it goes in, it's good, man. If you don't make contact with a goalie, it's good.
Yeah.
If
you're not impeding on the goalie, there shouldn't be an issue. Which I think they should review those every time.
What, bumping into the goalie?
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of them are bumped by their own defensemen.
There are some instances where the goalie is completely distracted by it, and the guy had no chance.
Yeah, if you take a guy's leg out and you're pushing it the other direction, it's like, oh, I can't push or I can't, lead with my leg going to the other side. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about the ESPN Turner deal, okay? Mm-hmm. And I think that it's just to give some perspective about the other 3 leagues. I was talking on social media today with a couple young guys, and we're just, kind of just going back and forth about why the NHL doesn't have a bigger following, and a lot of people believe that it's because it's an inaccessible sport that you have to spend to spend $1,000 to get equipment to go out there and play ice hockey, and I'm like, that's not the case. Anybody can go to Dick's Sporting Goods, buy a hockey stick for $20 and buy 3 balls for like $7 and go outside and play street hockey. You could use garbage cans for goals, just to play. You can do that. And then if you get more interested, you can get some rollerblades and maybe buy a couple nets and play. And I think the NHL should be using this idea to try to grow the game. There's streets everywhere. You could play anywhere. Mm-hmm. Me and Mike could play, play with each other, just to play. The problem that I think that it is that people say, we're going to go play hockey. They go out to maybe go rent some skates, or they go and get on some rollerblades, and they can't do it because it's an incredibly difficult sport to play technically, because you have to be coordinated and you have to be able to skate on top of it, and not to mention playing the positions without just a bunch of guys in a circle hacking around
you got to learn the responsibilities.
Yeah. Right. And it's hard. It's not as easy just getting a basketball and going throwing it up and playing, or getting a football, getting 5 guys 5-on-5 tackle and and playing, or soccer, or actually say football, because 90% of the rest of the other world calls soccer football. You know? So these sports are easy to play. A baseball, you get a bat and a ball, and you go and play, and you stand around. It doesn't take the coordination that it takes to play hockey. And what the NHL needs to start pushing is kids getting out into the streets, into the sidewalks, into parking lots, and getting nets out there so that kids can play. There's a park out in Tinley over here where they have like a roller style hockey rink where you can go out there and play. And they need to start building these things around more neighborhoods to start growing the game, because it's a fun game to play when you learn how to play and learn the responsibilities. But they need to make it accessible to other people.
Even schools, I feel like.
Right.
When I was in 7th, 8th grade, you'd play hockey for a week, but you'd play the other sports for a long time. You know what I mean? And you get the crappy foam sticks that, you can't even elevate the puck with.
You can't do anything with them, and it's shit, and it's like, I don't even want to play because you can't even play with this stuff.
And the hockey kids that play, they curve the sticks.
Right.
Like, it's almost like a banana just to elevate it. And what, you can't do that. I'm like, yeah, you can.
Yeah, that's what I used to do.
I'm not freaking going to be 1960s straight edge shot so they don't elevate. Yeah. Thank you, Stan Mikita, for curving the stick, but
putting it under
changing the game,
under a door sill.
But I think like what you're saying when I was younger, like you were saying, we'd grab our sticks and skates. My whole block played. Like I had a friend who went to Rice. I had a friend who, he played for St. Rita. I went to St. Lawrence, and our whole block played. We had 3-on-3 games almost every day, it seemed like. And, people would be like, why are you guys playing hockey? Well, we all play hockey,
Mm-hmm.
But ever since the Hawks, ever since Bill Wirtz died and they started playing games on TV, I noticed the game grew a lot here. Kids, a whole generation, if you think about it, like our age,
Yeah.
didn't watch hockey because it wasn't on. They didn't have anyone to watch. Chicago Blackhawks are a hockey team. Like there's kids my age that didn't watch their first Hawks game till Kane and Taves were here.
Yeah,
They
that's
had
crazy.
no clue what the rules were. They're the types of guys that would go to the game and be like, "Oh, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, shoot!" No matter where you're at, it's like, dude, that's not how it's done. Sit down and freaking watch. But I feel like since we've gotten Kane and Taves, they really grew the game in Chicago. But they need, and I guess Florida is going through this now with Tampa and even the Panthers. There's a lot of beach rollerblading going on now. I've been seeing Barkov videos where he'd crash like a hockey rink, and they'd be playing beach hockey. And I think it helps when your NHL team, has good players, they're good, the team's winning, and the kids want to be like, hey, I want to play now. I want to be like,
This
say
guy.
like Dallas. I want to be like Tyler Sagan, But I
was
think
going to
that'll
say
help.
Mike Modano.
Oh, yeah. Well, guys our age, yeah.
Yeah.
But these new guys probably like Jamie Benn and, like all those guys. But
Yeah.
I think it helps when your pro team is good and kids go to a game and it's like they fall in love with. Like that's what I did. I went to a Hawks game. I want to play hockey. I want to play hockey. I want to be like Eddie Belfour,
Yeah.
And that helped me. But these other teams need to do that. And I think the NHL is doing a good job. They're putting good teams out there. What do you think? Like 4 or 5 teams are just really bad out of 32.
Yeah.
It's not bad. You know what I mean? Phoenix, it's not
Actually,
working out.
I think it's. I would attribute it to bad ownership on Phoenix's part.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it's a terrible location. It's not working. It's like putting, a hockey team in Atlanta twice. You screwed it up twice. You got to look at the demographics too. It's 90% African American. They not a lot of them play hockey. They like football and they like basketball. They like all kinds of sports, but it just didn't work there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the PK Subban. Like if say they signed PK being like a black guy like him, that'd be huge. Like, oh, PK, I think he's a great signing for ESPN.
Yeah.
He's awesome. He's good. Like in the community, he gave $9 million to the children's hospital.
He's incredibly he's incredibly generous, and he's got a great personality.
He's just
he's just a solid dude.
In Malcolm, I've never heard the guy talk. Malcolm Subban. But I'm saying it's just like you got to think of everything like that. You got to put it together, and it didn't work out there. It's not because of that reason. It's just because Atlanta. It's not like a town like that. You know what I mean? It's not going to work.
Right.
And there's all kinds of cities that I don't like. Even Anaheim. Do you think Anaheim's a good hockey city? I don't. I think they won the cup, but I mean, they spent a lot of money to win it, and I feel like the games you could see more empty seats. The Stanley Cup final. So I think the NHL needs to do a better job with that. Like just
marketing. Their marketing is, I think
finding the right places.
The marketing of the game, I think, is terrible. I mean, you don't really see it anywhere unless I'm.
We
watching
have stars.
stuff.
We have McDavid. We have Kane.
He's incredible.
Matthews is American from Arizona. I mean, anybody can play. He's from the desert,
Yeah.
He's a Hispanic. His mom's Hispanic. He's white. It's like anybody can do it.
Yeah.
He did it. He won the Richard this year. So yeah, they got to do a better job at just exposing these guys. Like McDavid, get him out there and.
Well, he plays in Edmonton. That's one of the problems.
Show his clips of him burning people all the time. It's like, whoa. Even Cale Makar, he like, what do you do, like a stutter step to a guy?
And then
Even the guy at ESPN, who's a basketball guy, he's like, damn! What, the Stephen A. Smith guy?
Yeah.
He's like, damn, he stutter stepped him. You know, I was like, shit, he's talking about hockey? The last time he talked about hockey was when the Hawks were on their incredible streak in, was that 13?
Yeah, I blasted him one day because he said
Dude,
something that was freaking stupid.
He's like, you can't give LeBron's better than the Blackhawks because there's ties in the NHL. And somebody commented, it's like, actually, dude, that's not a tie. That's an overtime loss, but you still get a point. There hasn't been ties in hockey since '06.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, shit, you know?
But anyways, so you look at the MLB and their TV rights. They have a big deal. The NFL gets, I believe, $2 billion a year for their deal, and the NBA got a huge deal a few years ago, and salaries exploded. And this is good for, obviously, it's good for basketball because it gets people tuning in. You know, they want to see, you know, these guys making this money, seeing how good they are, you know. And then you have the NHL that's kind of just poking around, and I think they're only poking around because of bad marketing from the NHL office. Bettman is growing.
Yeah.
I think he's done a good job growing the game.
He has,
but I think the marketing at the NHL level needs vast improvement.
Yeah, like I said, it starts with the teams where they're located. I think that, like, Phoenix, get rid of it. If you're losing money, get rid of it. Like, if you're not going to start a business to lose, and
Right.
they lose every year, and other teams, like, you know, like the big teams, they have to pay for that. I'm pretty sure they have to. Aren't they owned by the NHL still, like partially?
The Coyotes?
Or do they have the Coyotes? Do they have a brand new owner 100%, or are they? Remember, it was like a 50 to something deal where it was.
And then didn't Gretzky's tell them that they didn't have to pay him?
Yeah, they didn't pay Gretzky. They I think he needed like $8 million he was owed.
Yeah.
And they didn't give it to him. But, you know, like if these guys aren't, like, I don't even know if Ottawa's, I'm pretty sure they're probably fine because they're in Canada, but I like I don't think the Blue Jackets are doing well. They don't spend money. And I think the owner has his own salary cap under the normal salary cap, and that's hurting them.
It is.
It's hurting them bad. But Phoenix is just, I don't understand it. I don't know why you keep them there if you get all the away fans, like the opposing team's fans come to visit because it's so cheap, and you can't rely on that. You look at Vegas, man. They sold out season tickets in what, 3 hours?
Wow.
Great marketing. The owner wants to go for it. He's putting winners out.
Right.
I mean, they could be going to the Final Four here.
Right.
They might even go to the final. It's just some teams need to, like, take notes from these owners that do a great job.
Alex Morello, he has the...
Oh, he's a majority owner?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's the first and only Hispanic majority owner in the National
awesome.
Hockey League. He's the chairman and governor of the Coyotes.
Wow. I'm surprised he's leaving them there. I mean, he probably has no choice. I bet Bettman is like, no, you're keeping him here if you're not going to relocate. Because I remember a couple of years ago, they were supposed to move. And I think they all, you know, Shane Doan's like, no, we don't want to go. And all the 5 fans, they fought for it. But but the NHL, they gotta like expose us, you know, try to get like the faces out there and, you know, get them on TV shows and, you know, like say, hey, let's, you know, like PK Subban's a great start. I think he's got an awesome personality. He did like a show this over the COVID stuff where he was like asking people questions. He was like a game show host. Did you watch that?
No, I didn't.
He was great, man. He was calling fans and, you know, hey, if you answer this question right, you get a jersey signed by PK. And I'm like, damn, man, that's pretty cool. But I think that's a good start. I think getting Gretzky's kind of smart. You know, he's the greatest player of all time, and he's going to be on a panel. Olchek, I mean, I think we're just sick of him.
Because
But
we
I
hear
think
him all the time.
Yeah, I think people really like him. I mean, I like him, but it's just I'd rather see like a new direction here. Maybe like a Sharpie, somebody who has gone through our dynasty. Like somebody like that. I think Foley or not Foley. Yeah, I mean Foley is okay, but sometimes you got to move on.
Sorry.
No problem. I think, but I think starting with those guys, I think they should get a couple more stars, like former stars, to be on the panels and stuff, and I think that'll help a lot.
Cool, man. Do you got anything else for tonight?
No, man. Excited about tomorrow. Vegas,
see.
Colorado. So the winner will play Montreal, and
And
I
looks
don't
like
know
the
what to-
Islanders and Tampa.
Yeah, Islanders and Tampa. I think that's the better matchup for Tampa. If I'm Tampa and I'm a Tampa fan, I like them. I would rather play the Islanders than
Boston.
the Bruins, just because their top line's scary. Bergeron, Pasternak, and Marchand. And Taylor Hall, dude, he's been a ghost. He had one empty net goal the second round, one assist. So
Not
maybe the
good.
Bruins might want to rethink, paying the guy and maybe even keeping Rask. This might be his last game as a Bruin too, and we will see. They got some decisions to make.
Very interesting.
Yeah, and then David Krejci too, another their second line center. He's been there forever, so I
Yeah,
wonder
he
what's going to
has.
happen.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, that's all that we got for you tonight, guys. Thank you for listening. Hit subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. This is the Tomahawk, and we're out.